how to play Bolero on your cello. This is one of the more divisive songs of the classical music world because it is simple, very repetitive, and for some members of your orchestra, they will be sitting there holding a single note the entire time. Talk to your wind section, particularly your trombones, if they like to play Bolero. A lot of them just sit there playing ding, 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 and it's, even us cellos, we spend the entire time. It is not an interesting piece for us. But I absolutely love the melody and I would like to share it with you. So let's just get right in the technique of this wonderful song by Maurice Ravel. We're going to start in Violoncello 1, meaning that even though you're the first cello part, you are not necessarily the more important part because everybody trades off. You and cello 2 trade off on this. And so when you choose to play this with a friend or with a recording that I have on SoundCloud, right there, then you should be aware that your part is just as important, whether you are doing the pizzicato, whether you are doing the rhythm, or if you're simply enjoying the melody. And so, in order to play this piece, you must have a solid understanding of not just the first position. There's a little bit of lower second position and some half position, which I'll get into in just a moment. But what's more important is the bow. That's why if you see in the score that I have uploaded on my website, you will see, well, the bowings, but not the fingerings. Watch this video in order to get those fingerings that I think will work for you in your level. Part 1. It's all in the first position. Be absolutely aware of the bowing. We'll get to that in just a moment. There's nothing to be worried about because it's quite all in the first position until you get to measure 22, which starts in half position on the B flat. You're playing the D flat with your fourth finger, you're playing the C natural with your third finger, and you are playing the B flat with your 1, a -1. The next measure, which is 25, you do a 4-3-1, B flat, E, C, shifting up to +4, 4-3-1, 1-1 slide, all together. You also use the lower second position in measure 28, from that G to A flat. It's also a 3-4. Sliding on your first finger back. And there is of course some A flats in end of measure 30 to 31. And then you be aware of your D flats and your B flats throughout this entire B flat section. And that's all you need to worry about for that. Continuing on, as you see, it repeats at 74, so there's nothing you really have to concern yourself with. But one thing you do have to be absolutely precise about is your bowing starting in measure 36. I like to do a tenuto on the last eighth note of each of those repeating phrases. And that you see at the end of the first line of your second page, you see a 16 above a sort of percent sign. That means to repeat the prior measure 16 times. So remember to count in your head. I had to practice a lot and count that a lot. Yes. And so that will be about it for this entire partition. There's really nothing else to concern yourself with. Just be aware of the changes, the repeats, and count. And I'm going to talk more about the bowing for the second part. So let's just jump right into the second part of Bolero for two cellos.